Okay. Hi, everyone. Just looking for Councillor Fitzgerald. And that gives us 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Brian Thompson.
Councillor Thompson will not be with us tonight. So I'm going to start by welcoming everybody and calling the meeting to order and confirming that we have quorum. However, Councillor Thompson is not with us tonight. I will read the land acknowledgement statement. I would like to respectfully acknowledge that we are on the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe under the terms of the Robinson-Huron Treaty number 61 of 1850 and the Williams Treaties of 1923. We commit to acknowledge, learn, educate, create opportunity on our sacred places, take actions towards real truth and reconciliation in support of our commitment to walking the path together in respect, peace, and harmony for future generations. I want to thank everyone for being here today. Most of us have had a very long day with planning issues. A couple of you guys are fresh. We should be calling on you for all the resolutions, but they've been pre-done. So I do have a resolution moved by Councillor Withey and seconded by Councillor Stone. Be it resolved that the special council meeting agenda dated Wednesday, April 13th, 2022 be adopted as printed and circulated. All in favor? And that carries. Are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest tonight? Seeing none. I have a resolution moved by Deputy Mayor Alcock, seconded by Councillor Weed. Be it resolved that council approve the draft building bylaws attached to report development 2022-52 and further that the bylaw be considered by council. Chris, are you the lead on this one?
I am, Your Worship. Thank you very much. And thank you, council members, for having us tonight. So with that, if I can dive into the report, I will. So I'm going to keep my report short, as I know many of you have had a long day. As noted within the building bylaw update report and through the attached amending bylaw, staff have completed some housekeeping requirements, which include the following: recognizing the adopted e-solution as the recommended method to submit building applications and its requirements, recognizing an NFPA standard for dry hydrants, recognizing administrative monetary penalties as an enforcement tool for staff. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Deputy Mayor Alcock.
Thank you, Your Worship, and thanks, Chris, for a quick presentation. I was barely ready with my question. I did read the report, and I recognize the need to move forward on the e-solutions strategy. I know that's where we're going, but I'm not sure if this is the right place, but I am going to raise it here, and that is, I've talked to a number of smaller scale people, builders, and just companies in our town. One in particular who's been around for decades, who does septics, and it was quite recently, and this was outside of knowing this was coming to committee, and he raised the issue, and as I said, not the first time. It's of a generation of people who are not yet ready to retire, but are still very active. And the idea of the last time he was at town hall, and not speaking unkindly about anybody, but it's really the process. And the process, he asked if he could get the permit, a hard copy of the permit, fill it out, hand it in, and was told no, that he had to do it online. And I recognize that there's room in here for teaching people to do this online, but trust me, this crowd, they're not going to be taught, and they're really upset. And I get it. I know people very close to me who've been in the business for a long time, and there's not a hope in hell they will ever learn how to do this online. And so I feel like, and again, the most recent was someone who is a really well-respected member of our building development community for doing a lot of the significant infrastructure, you know, the septics and roads and driveways and all of that stuff, and is a very small business. So it matters, I think, from a reputation perspective from the town, that we're telling them that they're not allowed to do it the old-fashioned way, and that if we can help them through the process online, because they're not going to do it. So the option for them is to actually hire someone to make that submission. So it's almost like a tax of some form. And I know that we now have a new fee that we can do it, but they're being charged a fee for a service that has always been part of the permit application, which they pay a fee for. So I don't know what the answer is, but I feel like we need a transition period to allow this generation to go, you know, maybe a few more years of transition before the next generation. And I know lots of the next generation are very happy with this process, love it, think it's the best in the world. They can do really well. But I feel like we've abandoned this other group. So I apologize for that very long message, but I have heard it numerous times. And I think actually, Chris, you helped one of those people and had a back and forth exchange trying to work with them. So I appreciate the effort that has been made, but I hate formalizing something that basically abandons a whole group of people that are still in the community and working.
Chris?
Yeah, so I'd be happy to respond to that through you, Your Worship. So to kind of give you a history on that, and we have heard from the septic industry a lot on this, right? Being I'll say the pioneers of the industry. So we actually had a meeting in December to go over all their concerns and go over the issues, and that's where kind of that $25 administrative fee, subject to the CBO's approval, did come from. And within our bylaw and the way that we've reworded it, we aren't saying that you can't submit the original paper copies. That is still an option and everything like that. It's just that we wanted a mechanism that would encourage people to actually use the online platform, right? So our worry is if we allowed everybody to submit it paper, then we would be taking a step back, right? So again, that $25 administration fee is more to encourage the individual to take part in the application process online. If that's not doable and they'd rather deal with it in paper, that's still an option, absolutely, moving forward. The one thing I'll kind of speak to with respect to the e-solution is by using it, you're able to actually request all your future inspections and everything like that. I know when we brought it up to kind of this industry, they were like, we want to be able to either come in when we're picking up our material or call on the phone. All of those are still acceptable methods to actually request an inspection. So we haven't taken away any of those manners, right? So we do have the kiosks at Town Hall on the second floor that if someone wanted, you know, didn't want to do the administrative penalty, but wanted to spend some time to actually go through it, my staff would assist them directly to put it through the system, and that is not subject to the $25. It's more of the individual when they just come in and say, here's my paperwork, I don't want to deal with it. Then we review it and say, hey, are we going to charge this $25 fee or not? But we kind of need that encouraging mechanism to drive that e-solution. So hopefully council could understand that. So.
Deputy Mayor, follow-up?
I thank you, Your Worship, and thank you, Chris, for that response. I totally appreciate it. I absolutely hear you, and I can imagine you want people to transition. Again, I will say that message, what you just said, maybe needs to be communicated a little clearly with your staff, because this one individual actually was told he couldn't do it. So, and he did say that he was offered the, I can walk you through, and not going to happen. Not, as he said, if he walks through his own computer at home, it takes him 20 minutes to turn on, which sounds like an exaggeration, but I know that to be true with my oldest brother. So, and that's not who I'm talking about. So I just want to say that there are those who will never do it. And I just don't want to discourage, because these are people that have been so active in our building and development community and very well respected. And I just want us to look like we are. And I think you answered that. So maybe if the message could get out there that there is a way of actually doing it the old-fashioned way for a little while.
Yep.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Okay. Chris, I think you heard your marching orders there. Don't totally do away with the old school method, but are there any other questions? Okay, all in favor of the resolution? And that carries. Okay, don't go away, Chris. I have a resolution moved by Councillor Fitzgerald, seconded by Councillor Schumacher. Be it resolved that council approve the amendments to the short-term rental accommodation bylaw as attached to report development 2022-53, and further that the bylaw amendments be considered by council. Chris?
Thank you, Your Worship. So as noted within the report, staff have chosen to amend the current bylaw to help streamline the understanding towards acceptable property uses, as well as provide further clarity on renewals of licenses. These updates are in response to ongoing questions received from constituents about the program and its allowances. In addition, we have also added a refund schedule to the bylaw, which mimics the building bylaws policy. I would, however, like to note that through the footnotes, we have placed restrictions that would not allow a refund to occur when the short-term rental has been in operation without the proper approvals. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Council questions? Councillor Withey.
Thank you, Your Worship, and thanks for this report, Chris. As usual, detailed and thorough. My question is, the very first added is bed and breakfast. Were they captured, like, is this a new thing that we're going to start licensing them, or were they licensed a different way before? Like, is this community going to not be happy to be included in this?
So, through Your Worship. So in actual fact, bed and breakfasts have been exempt from the program, and this actually outlines the requirements that would stipulate what a bed and breakfast was. It does somewhat mimic the bed and breakfast definition through the zoning bylaw, which we were following on previously. So bed and breakfast still need to comply with the MAT requirements and everything like that, but they aren't looked at under this program directly. So we wanted to put it in our bylaw to kind of, ease that pain that we've had at the licensing committee table and through the AMP penalties and everything that were sent out. So it's more to define what we would consider the bed and breakfast itself. So
follow up, please.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry. Just for a little bit more clarity, Chris. So were bed and breakfasts under a different bylaw before, or this is, I understand about the zoning and everything else, but were they somewhere else and just moving into this one from somewhere else, or is this going to be a new thing for them to be in?
So through you, Your Worship, they were never included in this program from the get-go, and they aren't included in the short-term rental bylaw itself. We just never had a full more detailed description of what a bed and breakfast is in the eyes of the municipality. We were falling on the zoning description of the bed and breakfast.
So that's where they were before.
Exactly. Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
They were as of right through the zoning bylaw itself.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Counselor Armour, was your question answered?
Yes, that's good. Thanks.
Okay. Chris, just further clarification. So bed and breakfasts fall under the accommodation tax collection, the same as hotels, but this is just a bylaw to determine what a bed and breakfast is?
That is correct, Your Worship. So we felt that there needed to be stronger wording with respect to what a bed and breakfast was. So we included it in the short-term rental bylaw so that if there were any questions on, you know, is my establishment actually a bed and breakfast, then we could simply go to that definition within the bylaw and say, no, you're exempt, or no, you do fall under this program and you need to get a license under this program. But as pointed out earlier, they are a permitted use through the zoning bylaw itself. So.
Okay. Councillor Fitzgerald.
Thank you, Worship. Through you to Chris. Chris, I just wonder if we have eliminated some bed and breakfasts in our community by limiting it to 2 bedrooms. I wonder if you can comment on that.
Yep. Through you, Your Worship. So the zoning bylaw actually did include a maximum of 2 bedrooms anyway. So that is not a change through this definition. Really, the only change that's in addition is that they're inspected by the fire department itself, which we've run through the fire department. So as everybody knows, this program is established to create a safe living environment for anybody coming to the town. We thought it would be, you know, inclusive to include the fire department to do the inspections on a bed and breakfast that would be exempt otherwise from this program. So.
Thanks, Chris, and appreciate all your work on this. Very thorough and informative. Thank you.
Okay, I don't see any other hands. All in favor of the resolution? That carries. A resolution moved by Councillor Weed, seconded by Councillor Armour. Be it resolved that bylaw numbers 2022-42 and 2022-43 be recorded and read a first, second, and third time and finally passed this 13th day of April 2022. Bylaw 42, the building bylaw, and bylaw 23, the short-term rental bylaw, as we just discussed. Questions? All in favor? And that carries. Those bylaws are passed. I now have a resolution moved by Councillor Stone and seconded by Councillor Withey that the next portion of the meeting be closed to the public commencing now at 6:18 p.m. for the purpose of considering the following matters pertaining to the following sections of the Municipal Act 2001. Section 239(2), litigation or potential litigation, including matters before administrative tribunals affecting the municipality or local board. Confidential Report 22-51, OLT Appeal Z34 2021 234 Longsight Road, and personnel matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees. Confidential Report Development 2022-54. All in favor? And that carries. And we will now, council, log out and log back into closed session, if you please. Okay. We are back live and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not everybody yet. We'll just wait a minute or two longer. Who are we missing? Counselor Fitzgerald? Counselor Snow? Counselor 4, 5, 6. Come on, Tanya, let the rest of them in. Lauren, let the rest of them in. This actually went faster than I thought it would. And there we go. And we're all back. Okay, Council, I have a resolution moved by Councillor Armour, seconded by Councillor Stone. Be it resolved that staff be directed to advise the Ontario Land Tribunal that the town of Huntsville will not be participating in the appeal for Z34 2021 Bird Barrett 234 Longs Lake Road. Questions? All in favor? And that carries. And a resolution moved by Deputy Mayor Alcock and seconded by Councillor Fitzgerald. Be it resolved that the chief building official be authorized to hire the following 3 full-time additional positions as detailed within confidential report development 2021-54. Is that right, or should that be 2022? I don't know when the report was written, but anyways, permit coordinator, plans examiner number 2, property standards STRA bylaw officer. And further, that all costs associated, approximately $323,132 with the new positions be funded through the building department revenues and the building stabilization reserve policy. Tanya, I saw you there for a second. Is 2021 the report number correct?
It is incorrect, Mayor Terziano. It is 2022.
Okay, I'll just change that with my pen. And questions? All in favor? And that carries. And I have a resolution moved by Councillor Schumacher, seconded by Councillor Armour. Be it resolved that confirmation bylaw 2022-44 be received, numbered, and read a first, second, and third time and finally passed this 13th day of April 2022. All in favor? And that carries. And I have a resolution moved by Deputy Mayor Alcock, seconded by Councillor Withey. Be it resolved that we do now adjourn at 6:39 p.m. All in favor? And that carries. And Councillor Armour, have a wonderful vacation.
Thank you, Your Worship.
See you, everyone.